Okay, class, let's take a look. Okay, we have to begin to the second system, the false imagination mere consciousness system. But before we start this, I think it is important that we have to I have to let you all know that regards the application for the previous system. Okay, remember the previous system we call it as mere names, right? Or emptiness, mere name. Okay, so in this tradition, remember we always emphasize self-entity. But how are we going to use it? Okay, in Tibetan Buddhism, according to the history of Buddhism, class, let's take a look. Maybe I'll roughly let you know a little bit. Okay, actually, in Buddhism, there is a school we call it as a law. There's basically in Buddhism, okay, Shakyamuni learned from Shakyamuni learning from different teachers, and one of the knowledge the Shakyamuni learned is about the logic. Okay, it's about the logic. You see, so meaning to say that actually, in our Buddhism, there sometimes that we use the logic way, in order, I mean, to encounter, in order to solve the problem of the defilement, basically. So today I would like to introduce a little bit regarding logical. Okay, for example, just now I put an example. Elena, you see, just now, let's say the customer, we are the customer. Okay, during the Omicron, so our share drop a lot. Most of the people, they will feel, I mean, agitated, right? Will feel agitated. Okay, but okay, in Buddhism, how do we view this problem, and if possible, how are we going to help ourselves? Okay, you see one thing. Okay, if let's say, okay, as Sally, okay, you heard about that, maybe A, okay, lost, I mean, okay, maybe easy, I put in this, okay, maybe you heard about A is somebody, okay, he lost, I mean, some money during the share, especially the Omicron strike, okay. What do you feel if you compare, if you compare the your own share incurred the loss? Is there any much different? Maybe ask Elena better. Is the difference very much, Elena? Your own share and somebody's share, somebody maybe you don't know one. Okay, it's irrelevant to you.
師傅唔係自己個錢，梗係唔痛啊！人哋個錢人哋痛。
Yeah. Yes, good question, Elena. You see, you talk about 我自己 am I right? Okay. So okay, now Elena, I try to ask you a question. Okay, you say 你自己係咪？ Can you tell me where is 你自己？Where is it?
If you talk about Buddhism, then it's a different matter.
Of course. No, you can just ask me, where is 你自己？Where is it?
My own self.
Okay, yes. So where? I don't know. Where is your own self, Elena? Actually. Okay, maybe I can we will try to talk okay, because we are using logic way. Okay, Elena, you say you 你自己係咪？ It is the hair is Elena? No, right? 係咪？唔係 okay. How about the eye or the skin 都唔係 Elena? Am I right? Okay. Maybe Elena, you try to touch your body. Are you touching Elena, or you just touching part of your body only? Am I right? Okay, so we need to say that you can't fight Elena. Okay, maybe we go to try to see the sensation. Elena, now you feel the aircon now. Are you under aircon, under the fan?
Under the fan only.
Under the fan. Okay. You feel the fan. Okay, it's comfortable. Is the feeling is Elena? Elena, is the feeling from the fan is Elena? No, right? Okay. So Elena, now you are talking to me, meaning to say that we try to have a conversation. Okay. Once during our conversation, you keep on thinking, and then you conversing with me. Is your mind keep on? I mean, the thinking of the mind. It is Elena. You think Elena?
I don't think so. You
don't think so because what you think next moment already. I mean, in next moment it passed away already. Next moment it passed already. Am I right? So meaning to say that if you try to fight Elena, you can't get the Elena actually. But I mean, conventionally, we will say that you are Elena. If conventionally you are not Elena, so who am I talking about, right? Or Sally, sure, God, this is Elena, you see. So meaning to say, it means what? Meaning to say that for most of us, we have a self-entity, something behind you, something behind us. So that's something behind us. It seems like something at the back to control us. We have this perception. So this perception, basically, we can how can we prove it? It's due to the loss incurred during the investment. Maybe we lost somebody we love. All these things. Or it show what's the illusion of I, we call it as a self-entity. You see, okay, I think you roughly remember, one day we talk about Elena and also Sally, okay, we try, using the prajna, right or not? Step by step, we are able to the prajnati, we try to break the prajnati from the name to the perception prajnati. Remember, step by step, right? Okay, so that is the same concept in me. Okay, so for example, a car, you see a car. Okay, so a car is the same. Car is composed by all the wheel. Okay, from the glass, from the engine. There's no such thing as a car, right? Car just it's the combination from different parts only, and then the car can run already. But you see, it seems that we have the perception that there must be somebody controlling the car, but actually, no such thing at the back of the car to control the car, right? No such thing. It's just comprising from it consists from a different spare part of the car. Then the car can move already. There's no somebody at the back to control the car. But the problem is for us, we always think that there must be somebody who is our true self at the back. So this one is the one who creates trouble to us. Get it? Get it or not? Okay, okay. So class, okay. Yeah, maybe let me try. Sally, can you try to repeat what I mentioned just now? What does it mean, self-entity? Can you roughly repeat to me? Yeah, you try.
Self-entity is composed of various components, which is many things, but not really ourself itself.
Again, what?
Not really. There's no such self entities.
Okay, meaning to say self-entity is an illusion that something is real one. No. Of course, conventionally, Elena exists. We name her Elena, okay, we talk to Elena, we act conventionally. But in reality, Elena doesn't exist because we couldn't find where is Elena. Is this correct? But we always have a self-entity, the self-entity that there's somebody like Elena, so we have the trouble, you see now. Okay, so this one, please class, you please do experiment for yourself. Because if this method, if let's say it really works for you, please share to more people. Because Mr. Leong, it seems the attainment of a samatha vipassana, not many people can really experience that. Right or not? You see, so long already, no people still attain to the first jhana, you see. So meaning to say that we couldn't start with vipassana, but the logical way, it seems works. It sounds logic, you see, not? Sounds reasonable. So we experiment by ourselves because this type of the logical way, how does it start? Basically, during Shakyamuni time, Shakyamuni really learned that already. This a logic way about to understand the self-entity, you see. Okay, then besides, during why do we know that? Because they found it in the Pali text, there is something we call it as a logic. Okay, maybe I put it as the better terminologies. In Buddhism, this is the name we call it. And Tibetan Buddhism quite emphasize on this. Let's see. Yin Ming. Yeah. Hetu Vidya. Please copy down. So just now, what we try to use to analyze the self-entity, the knowledge we are using, we call it as a Hetu Vidya. Hetu Vidya, maybe we go to the English. Easy. Hetu Vidya. Yes, okay. In Sanskrit, it's science of reasoning. Yes, This is the best way, or maybe we use a Buddhist logical epistemology. So this is our Buddhist way. A Western scholar for a Pramagna doctrine of the proof and Hetu Vidya, science of causes. Yes, sir. This is a Buddhist logical epistemology. This one, this knowledge is really enhanced by Tibetan Buddhism. So that's why Tibetan Buddhism, they will try to use the logic way reasoning why to prove that the self-entity doesn't exist, so that the defilement could be reduced. This is their way. They make use of it. Maybe there's the experience of Samatha Vipassana is not that popular in Tibetan Buddhism, so they don't really go very deep jhana and incur the Vipassana way. So for the time being, okay, we can use it. Okay, we can use it. Please experiment for yourself, and maybe one day, please share with us. I will experiment also. Please we share to each other whether using this Buddhist logical epistemology can really reduce the defilement. Okay. Mr. Leong, you please later on speak Cantonese to Mrs. Leong. So let Mrs. Leong understand the theory and try to use. So one day, if let's say something happened, we try to use the reasoning way, see whether it can reduce the defilement or not. Okay. Okay. So as a Hetu Vidya. So maybe you go a little bit. Okay, class. Do you realize that actually we mentioned the Hetu Vidya before? Remember that? Remember? Oh, we say where it just come from? It doesn't come from himself. So if it doesn't produce by itself, if it is produced by itself, so before produced, where is it from? After produced, where it goes? All this, remember? We opening the para. That is a Hetu Vidya. That's the way they use. So this is where they begin. Is about 1st century Nagarjuna. In Nagarjuna, especially the Madhyamaka Karika, you can see a lot of this type of reasoning, science of the reasoning in Madhyamika Karika. So class, you can have to write down. So you don't learn this in the Theravada one. And in our chanting temple, we also don't talk about this. This one is quite, the only you can see maybe it's the religious study in university, or maybe in Tibetan Buddhism, Sangha education. Even though, Tibetan Buddhism, they don't talk to the devotee because too difficult for them, for the devotee, they just do the chanting mantra, that's all. They won't talk about this type of knowledge. Okay. Okay, maybe we have to know a little bit details regards this because you can use it by ourselves. You see, okay, Buddhist logical epistemology is a term used in the Western scholarship for Pramana for the doctrine of the proof and the science of the causes. So we try to find out the causes, you see. We try to analyze, you see. So just like I said, Elena, where are you? Is the hair is you? Is the feeling is you? Which one is you? It is the science of the reasoning, you see. We try to find out the reason, you see. Okay, then we go, then you see, Pramana is the epistemology study of the nature of the knowledge. Hetu Vidya is a system of logic, you see. These models are developed in India during the 5th through 7th century. Yes. It's a 5th through 7th century. So that's why later besides the Madhyamaka, and also in, we call it the mere consciousness school, they will also use this theory. So we have to roughly know a little bit because later on the text may appear in this type of the science of reasoning. Okay, it's something like that. Okay, for example, okay, maybe we will say that, okay, I will say, okay, okay, once there's when the fire is burning, there will be a smoke. Okay, correct. You sounds logic, right? Okay, so I saw the smoke coming out from behind the wall there, and then I tried to deduce that there must be some fire there. Logic or not? So this is we call it as a reasoning of science of the reasoning. So in Tibetan Buddhism, they use this intensively, we can say so. They use this intensively to prove that the Dharma. So like why just now I say, Elena, you can't find where are you, right? From hair, from eye, okay, and then from feeling, from your mind or thinking. We can't find Elena, meaning to say actually Elena doesn't exist. This is a hallucination. You see, I come to the deduction, I come to reasoning, you see. So this is the knowledge where it is extensively applied by Madhyamaka school during this century. So let's take a look. You see the early Buddhist texts show that the historical Buddha was familiar with certain rule of reasoning used for debating purposes. See? And make use of this against his opponent. Yeah, that's true. During the time after Buddha Parinibbana, I think a few hundred years, they are very popular in debating. Especially, you do remember that it's about, I think, a 9th century of Buddhism totally extended in India. Why? Because we are not good in debating anymore. But Hinduism, yes. So according to the rule of the debating, if I win, you all have to bow down to me, follow my teaching, or you all will be drop your head. Remember, they got the rule like this, you see. So at that time, Buddhism is too weak. We don't have a good reasoning to debate with all this type of kapha. So finally gone already. But if you cannot debate, you lost already. You have to change your religion. You'll be converted. You see or not? So this is something happened before the annihilation of Buddhism in India. You see. So let's take a look. The structure of debating rules and process can be seen in the early Theravada text, the Kata Vatu. Okay, yes, Mr. Leong, I think you are quite interested. Please write down. Actually, it is happened in Theravada text, but just maybe not that popular. Kata Vatu, please write down. This type of debating rule actually exists, you see. But of course, Elena, don't use this debating rule to your boss. I think maybe not appropriate. And maybe to your customer, cannot. We use to ourselves only. Okay. For you, but Buddhists will be very happy learning this because if let's say it can really reduce the defilement, why don't we like it? You see or not? Okay, then let's take a look. The first Buddhist thinker to discuss a logical and epistemic issue systematically was Vasupandu. Yes, Vasupandu is quite famous. You can write down Vasupandu. Vasupandu is the author of the Abhidhamma Kussa Bhashyam. Vasupandu. Abhidhamma Kussa Bhashyam is the Abhidhamma which has been, studied extensively and intensively. They will spend 3 years to study this Abhidhamma Kussa Bhashyam and train the debating power. So this is what to make you understand how is the Tibetan Buddhism run. You see, who was influenced by the Hindu work on reasoning, the Jnana Sutra. Okay, class, you can write down. Jnana Sutra is a school in India which is very famous for debating one. You see. So let's take a look. Ancient Indian Sanskrit text composed by Aksabara Gaudama. The text of a Jnana school of Hindu philosophy, the date when the text was composed, we don't know, never mind. So we know that the Jnana Sutra is something, it's about the debating. Then the mature system of the Buddhist logic and epistemology was found by the Buddhist scholar, Thich Nhat Hanh. Yes, you can just write down. So meaning to say the Buddhist logic and epistemology, the most mature system is the part of the Thich Nhat Hanh. Thich Nhat Hanh actually is the Madhyamaka. It's the teacher, you see, Indian Buddhist scholar, and then it is under the Madhyamaka school. This is the Thich Nhat Hanh, you see. Thich Nhat Hanh Chen Na, we call it. So roughly know. Next time when you met a Tibetan Buddhist monk, they actually know that very well. But if you met somebody who can speak very good English, you should learn from them. So regarding the epistemology. Okay, then some more. Dhammakriti Pramanavartika became the main source of epistemology and reasoning in Tibetan Buddhism, you see or not? So they are using this textbook as the main sources for the epistemology and reasoning. Maybe a commentary on the valid connection. Pramana Vartika. Okay, let me check the Mandarin. Okay, so wait, let me check a little bit the Mandarin. Pramana Vartika. Let me see where is it now. Okay, Pramana Vartika. 中文了。Okay, let's see. Oh, I see. I got it already. Oh, 释量论. Oh, I see. I get it. I know already. Okay, so just copy. So class, now you have some fundamental for the epistemology in Buddhism. And this is quite, I mean, you can say it can date about 1,500 years ago. I think, let me see how it's happening in the 5th century. Yes. It can be dated back to 1,500 years ago, but just it's not common, it's not popular in Mahayana Theravada, but in Tibetan. Okay, okay. So now we go to the second school again. We call it a mere consciousness school. Okay. Yes. So Sally, your turn to read, please. The false imagination mere consciousness system.
The false imagination, mere consciousness system. All things are without an inherent nature. Those who skillfully understand will be able to understand this. But for those who are not accomplished in the 5 deeds, the Buddha repeatedly explained that the Samhini Mokkana Sutra, the system of false imagination, mere consciousness, is based on the Samhini Mokkana Sutra, Sutra of the explication of underlying meaning, the Yogacara Bhumi, Yoga Treatise, and other texts. The teaching is transmitted by Master Xuanzang that the forms of things are mere consciousness best expresses the gist of this system. The Prajna Paramita Sutra has been described as a teaching of the second period. These periodizing Hinayana teachings are those of the first period. The Samhini Mokkana Sutra as of the third period. In addition, Asanga transmitted the Yogacara Bhumi after Nagarjuna. Thus, the scriptures of this system appears later than did the scriptures of Prajna. Indescribableness is the ultimate nature of all things, which nothing surpasses. This indescribable nature is the whole truth.
Sally, stop first. Sorry. Sally, stop first. Okay. Yeah, okay. Before we proceed for this school, let me a little bit mention again regards the emptiness. Okay, class, remember in previous lesson why in the emptiness school so emphasized. The reason is there's no such thing as a self-entity. Always remember, self-entity means what? Self-entity means to say that it's something created by itself and by its own energy. There's no such thing that can create by itself one. Okay, everything must be by condition. So meaning to say that wherever I see, okay, like this, there must be a different component that I will be able to see. This is a controller, and then also even though this mouse also conditioned. Okay, can you tell me, is there anything can appear without condition? Can you put an example for me? No, right? No such thing. Because if you say human, no, we are composed from different, we are conditioned also, right? Okay, and then we try to analyze. Even we go to the molecule, it is a molecule and atom is conditioned. Yes or not? Yes, right? Because now the scientists say that, even though within the atom, we can see electron, proton, all this. So meaning to say that if we go to the small particle, it's still conditioned, meaning to say that cell entity, it doesn't exist, but just is our hallucination from the human. That is the cause for the reincarnation. So always remember, so once your cell entity, the cell entity appeared, please you try to analyze through yourself. Okay, whereas if let's say for those can do very well in the samatha vipassana, please go through Samatha Vipassana. That is the more ultimate way to break the self entity, or the only thing we use is the reasoning. Okay, yeah, Mr. Leong, please.
Sifu, is Nibbana due to cause and condition?
Okay, I think Nibbana is one exceptional. So sometimes we will say that Nibbana, okay, if according to the school of Madhyamika, they will say that even Nibbana itself, also they will say that it's also is the emptiness, according to the school. So different school have a different perception. But later on the school, they will say that Nibbana, no, Nibbana is something, is really, it's the only self entity is the Nibbana, only the rest we can't get it. So Mr. Leong, no definite answer. Even though the emptiness school also mentioned, this is also condition, is emptiness also. Okay, so I'm making clear already. Now we proceed to this second one. Okay, let's continue, have a look. Okay, let's take a look. Well, I think it doesn't sound good for this mere consciousness. Let me find you the proper Sanskrit terms. Okay, class, this is the proper name. Okay, please write down this school. We call it as Vijnana Vata. This is the proper name. Instead of English, mere consciousness, we also call it as Vijnana Vata. Vijnana Vata. Oh, sorry. Okay, a class. Basically, this school, the representation is the Master Xuanzhuang in China. Okay, he's the one who exactly he learned from a teacher in India, in Nalanda. Then he brought back all he brought back all the sastra and also sutra. Actually, he brought back many but Xuanzhuang preferred this school. So in China, he formed a school, or we call it as a school of, let's see how I also can remember, Vijnana Vata. So Vijnana Vata is a school established in China. It's one among the 8. Okay, but according to the history, it can only sustain for 70 years. Why? Due to the devastation from the king, because the king disliked Buddhism, so they destroyed the whole thing, including the school also gone. But luckily, the Japanese monk, they come and learn. So before the order from the king, so they brought back a lot of, all this Vata to Japan. And now Japan, this school is flourishing for 1,000 years already. It's very, it's flourishing there. Okay, then in India, who is the famous people? The name is Asanka. Why Asanka is so famous? Because according to some legendary, Asanka, the Yogacara Bhumi is partially learned from Asanka, and you know how did Asanka learn from it? Is from a Maitreya Buddha. Okay, Asanka will do the meditation in the night time and start with travel to the Tushita heaven, and he will meet Maitreya, and then he learned the Yogacara Bhumi from Maitreya. Then he come down and then he start to write out the scripture. So that is the history regarding Yogacara Bhumi. So you have to write down. Actually, I'm teaching in Saturday class in Mandarin, but I think you don't want to come because you saw the name, you get scary already, especially in Mandarin again. But if let's say you got an opportunity, like Tanzania, they got the degree school, and then they have this type of thing pure in English, and maybe it will be taught by the professor. You try to learn, it doesn't matter, because now I give you some fundamental. You know that actually it happens in Indian, it's about 4th century. This thing all happened in 1st century. And Asanka, where is Asanka? Asanka is in Peshawar. Class, this is where is it? Peshawar, Pakistan. Peshawar in Pakistan. Yes, this is where is the location for Asanka. Let's take a look. This is Asanka. This is where is it? Peshawar. You see, this is the Peshawar, and here is the Kabul, and then here, you will see the Kabul. I think not that good at this one. I want the English one. Let me see. Okay, like Peshawar, Pakistan. Okay, class, remember Peshawar at that time is once we see the Peshawar, and besides you will see the Swat also, Swat Valley we call Peshawar, Swat Valley and Kabul. They all are considered as a Kandara at the Buddha time. So basically, once we talk about Kandara, is about this area in between Afghanistan and Pakistan, and they are, belongs to Mahayana and Buddhism 1,000 years ago. How do we know that? We get the proof. Let's take a look. You see, this is we can prove it. Class, you see, okay, you see, this is this is where do we get okay, you see this is the split collection of the Kharosthi text. Okay, we have to roughly know a little bit regards the archaeology, you see it's by the Berlin scholar, you see the local origin of the present collection are not clear. Several parts of it were seen in Peshawar 2004. See now. And there's a collection of the birch part was found in stone case in Pakistan, Afghanistan border area. Okay, then what do we see? Let's take a look. One fragment with the stanza from Atthakavaka of the Sutta Nipata. This is the Buddhism. Okay, metrical text on the life of the Buddha. Large part of the Dhammapada comprising 89 stanza. Parts of the collection of Avadana. and a text called Prajna Paramita containing textual parallel. Okay, then one thing is very a surprise. We feel so happy that actually everything have been discovered is about 79. Let's see how is this. It's a 79 AD. This take out at the AD 79. You see, because they got the part of the sutra. Okay, they will go to for carbon carbon 13 for the testing. It's calibrated age of AD 74. Okay, so the Prajna Paramita. Okay, figure number 6, and this is in the language of Gandhari, but not in the Pali. Okay, so this is the earliest proof of the pieces from Buddhism. Let's take a look. So how does it look like? It look like this. See, it look like this. Let's take a look. This is from the scholar study we can find this in academic. You see, this is the one. See, Attavaga slide 1, slide 2, a metrical text. You see, this is in the Gandhari text. We don't understand. Another Gandhari Dhammapada. You see, it is in the Gandhari. So it's Avadana collection, and this is the Prajna Paramita. So this text is available in Mandarin. It is translated by Lokasema. It's about 4th century in China. So we need to say that in Peshawar at that time, very early, you see, they take it out is AD 79. See, so I think it is quite logic that you see. We need to say that at that time, this is the Buddhism. The Buddhism is flourishing here. AD 79, you see. So we can find it like the translation in China is in 3rd century, because it's not very far away. And then Buddhism, they start to travel through the Silk Road to here, you see. So meaning to say that the earliest texts we discover, Mr. Leong, not under Theravada, not Pali text, but in Mahaprajna Paramita is under Gandhari. See or not? So meaning to say some archaeology can really supportive our faith. So meaning to say what happening, they got so many schools at that time, including the Mahayana, and can date it so early. So once we chant the sutra, we notice, actually all this sutra is really exists 1,000 years ago, and it is in Afghanistan and Pakistan. Okay. Do you like this thing or not? Elena, do you like this thing or not actually? Like, okay. So please copy down the name. You can find it in academy. In academy, we got a lot of archaeology study by the scholar. I like this so much. So you just copy this text. Let me try to prove it for you. So we put to the academy. Let's see. Then we tap academia. We got here, you see. Academia.edu, the split collection. Please copy down the terminology. So next time you can find a lot of this type of article in this academy.edu. Academic study, we can call it archaeological study in terms of Buddhism. So if next time possible, Elena, you travel to Pakistan. Actually, the Pakistan, 3 days ago, they come to Fo Guangshan. They visit Fo Guangshan. The envoy from Pakistan, they said, please, Buddhists, please come to our country and visit, because we got the Buddhism there 1,000 years ago. They want to earn money from the Buddhists. Yeah, why? Because I think people I think Pakistan maybe will jealous. See a number of the Buddhists they go and travel the Indian the Buddha Gaya, right? Wow, so many people flock in, meaning to send many currency flock in at the same time. You see, a whole world, So Pakistan also got. You see, why don't we earn some money, hard money? So just 1 week ago, the envoy come to Fo Guangshan. They said, "Oh, please come to my place." Okay, yes, I'm still on. Any question?
See, what's the difference between this Dara civilization and the Anyang civilization?
Oh, okay. Again, Mr. Leong, again.
what is the difference between this Gandhara civilization and Yang civilization?
Okay, I heard Gandhara. The second one is what again? Breaking. Second one.
Banyang.
Bangyang. Okay. Well, I don't exactly. Okay, sorry, I don't exactly know the Banyang. But if you talk about the Gandhara civilization, Gandhara meaning to say that it's the place. Is something just surrounding here. Let's have a look. In Buddhism, it's very famous. This Gandhara. You got to know this. Let's see. Let me find it for you. All this is related to our class today. So the area besides the Patsawa, they will include the Swat Valley, Swat Pakistan. Oh, this is a very beautiful place, the Swat, and also the Kabul. Now it's in the chaotic. Now all this place is the chaotic actually. So this is where is the Gandhara means is this area. Gandhara. So during the Gandhara era, is actually is this time the Mahayana start flourishing, and I mean the art of the sculpture of the Buddhism is correct at this time. Is during the colonization from the Rome, because the Rome they brought in the arts of the statue. You see, so that's why the Gandhara statue basically is very handsome. Let me show you. This is the Gandhara culture. We call it as a Gandhara. Let's see. Civilization. Let's see. Yes, Gandhara civilization. Let's take a look. So this is the sculpture of the Buddha. Yeah, do they look like quite low, Chimo? Right or not? Yeah, and also more handsome, right? You see? So this is the very beginning, this is the very beginning of the sculpture of the Buddha. Before this era, Gandhara era, we don't sculpture the Buddha. We just bow to the Dharma wheel, the feet of the Buddha. That's all. Okay, so this is a very famous era, and you can get all this in the museum. The arts. Okay. So Mr. Leong, good lah. So but the second I don't know. So this is a Gandhara culture, quite related to all these things together lah. And I would like to yes. Yeah.
For this Buddha statue in Gandhara, it's a mixture of this Roman culture incorporated into it, isn't it?
Yes, it's an integration between the Roman culture and the Buddhism culture. Okay, yes, this is the integration, very good. And one thing, one places I would like to introduce to Elena, so much is about this area. Elena, let's take a look. If possible, please go have a visit this place later on. If no more war, let's see. We call it as a Swat. A Swat is the place where is the Malala was given born. Malala is the girl who get the a nomination of the Nobel Prize in a very young age, and he had been beaten by all this the Taliban. We call it a Swat. Let me see. I remember it's very beautiful. I see. Swat. It's in Pakistan. I think this is some of the civilization, Buddha civilization. Well, it seems not that beautiful. Okay, if compare, with the Kashmir, not that beautiful. But you can see, so many high mountain. You see, sounds like a Switzerland, right? Let's see the Buddha statue here. You see, okay, but some looks good. You see, like the Salem High Country, right? Okay, yes. So this is for Elena. Gandhara culture civilization for Mr. Leong. Okay, so we continue. And now once we talk about this Vijnana, what again? I forget the name. Let's see. Vijnana Vata. It is very closely related to today's lectures. Okay. So just now we talk about Asanga. please copy down. Asanga actually previously, wait, a class, okay. So this is very important figure. I mean, for our today teaching, let's take a look at Asanga. Asanga. Let me just search a little bit regards to the Asanga. So just now, besides I said Asanga, go to the Tushita and learn from the Maitreya Buddha regards to Yogacara Bhumi. Besides this, he was ordained in Savastiwada. Okay, so later on, he learned from Savastiwada. Okay, where is the Savastiwada? Class, let's take a look to the map. Okay, this is the location of the Savastiwada. Let's see. Now you see, okay, Asanga actually he is born in Pessawa, and then I mean this is his hometown. Then later on, this is where is the Savastiwada? It's Kashmir here. So later on, he come to the Savastiwada and learning. But after he finished learning, he come to the Indian, the Ayodhya, and establish the Yogacara Bhumi. Ayodhya. Yes, this is the place where he start the teaching of the Yogacara Bhumi. Please write down Ayodhya. This is the place. Ayodhya. Asanga established Yogacara Bhumi here. So this is regards our today teaching. Ayodhya. Okay, let's see how beautiful is it. Then we'll ask Elena go for us. Elena, you go on behalf of us. Let's see again. Okay, this is Ayodhya, where Asanga go to Tushita and learn the Yogacara Bhumi.點啊 Elena 啱唔啱心水啊？咁嘅地方 ？No 啦，better go to Bhutan 啦。Never mind. If next time we got opportunity, we go. We go for the museum lah. We know the history, see, or maybe we will be inspired or not. Okay. So now we go to the next passage, next paragraph. Okay. So yes, Mr. Leong, you can ask first. Yeah.
Sifu, regarding verse 178, the third line, the 5 deeds. What are these 5 deeds? Is it the 5 precepts or what?
Again, okay, wait lah. This one, 5 deeds, okay. For those who are not, no. It's not the 5 precepts. Okay, Mr. Leong, we will go through 5 deeds later on. Why? Because for those who doesn't possess the 5 deeds, they won't understand the Madhyamaka. So they will opt for this mere consciousness school. Okay, we talk about this later on. 5 deeds is not the 5 precepts. Okay, next paragraph. Sally, please continue for it.
Indescribableness is the ultimate nature of all things, which nothing surpasses. This indescribable nature is the whole truth. This is the view established by the Madhyamakans in reliance upon Prajnaparamita Sutra and Wu Jing Ying Jing in the Samhini Mochana Sutra's view. However, the whole truth and the esoteric partial truth are relative. That which is explained clearly and is easily understandable reveals the whole truth, while that which explains in a concealed and secret manner reveals the partial truth. In the extraordinary truth, therefore, that which is esoteric and that which is whole are differentiated. When relying on the Buddha's teaching in the Samhini Mochana Sutra to understand the extraordinary empty nature of things, one should realize that the reason why both esoteric truth and the whole truth exist is the different fundamental capacities of sentient beings. The sutra says, all things have no inherent nature. There is neither birth nor extinction. Being fundamentally calm and quiet, inherent nature is nirvana. After listening to the Dhamma of this sutra, those sentient beings who have already planted the good roots of the superior grade and cleared various afflictions, and who continue to mature, to practice the Mahayana teachings, and to accumulate the superior provisions of blessings and wisdom, will understand this very esoteric meaning of the Buddha's teaching, in accordance with the truth, and they will have deep faith regarding such Dharma, and will thoroughly understand such principle as the truth through the right wisdom. Because they rely on this wisdom to understand thoroughly and practice skillfully, they can swiftly realize the ultimate. From this, it is clear that those with matured fundamental capacity, having the ability to skillfully understand the profound nature of things, can realize and align themselves with the teaching that all things have no inherent nature. They can do this through the right wisdom that comes from practice and do not require the Buddha's teachings from the Samhini Mochana Sutra.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, I finished. So class, take a look. See what I mentioned in this paragraph. Okay, class, basically in this paragraph, there will be some of the definition of the ultimate truth. So let's see which one you side on which one you favor for. Okay, class number 1, the ultimate truth is something which is very profound, and it might not everybody understand, but it is profound by its nature, like what we talk about, in the emptiness. Okay, so once we talk about emptiness, meaning to say that everything is by condition. No such thing of inherent nature or self-entity, no this type of thing. Okay, even though Nibbana itself also is emptiness. Okay, so we call it as a profound teaching. Okay, so this is the definition for number 1. Second definition is the ultimate teaching should be everybody is understandable for everybody. If you teach something and people don't understand, how can you say it's the ultimate teaching? So meaning to say that the definition of ultimate teaching should be the teaching which fit everybody. So which one definition you favor for? Ultimate teaching should be one, profound in its nature, or the second, it should be understandable. So which one definition you prefer? Okay, yes. Please fight to each other. We can have a boxing. Okay, so we'll get answer later on. This is why number 1 for the Madhyamaka that we insist we are the more ultimate, because not everybody can understand this tough concept of emptiness. You see, but the second school is based on this sutra. Let's see. Samdini Mochana. So this one, he mentioned that no, it should be understandable. If we understand, so it is profound. If we don't understand, how can we say it's profound? You see, so this is the second school we start to talk about. Okay. Okay. Then next, let's see. Okay, we go to next paragraph, and then we start to mention regards the 5 deeds which Mr. Leong tried to emphasize. Mr. Leong, would you like to try to read or not? See how good is your Wi-Fi? Have a try first.
However, those who have not accomplished all of the 5 deeds have problems with the teaching that all things are without an inherent nature. The sutra says that there are sentient beings who have planted good roots of the superior grade, Flexini to match the Mahayana teachings, but who have not yet accumulated the superior provisions of blessings and wisdom. Some, after listening to this teaching, feel that it is extremely difficult. They cannot understand it, but are able to believe in it, interpreting it accordingly to their own opinions. They think that all things being empty and without inherent nature is synonymous with total non-existence. Nagarjuna called them heterodox followers of Mahayana. They receive no eventual benefits for themselves, and on the contrary, their wisdom regresses. As for those who listen to these people, when they teach, some follow their teachers and become attached to the will of non-existence, while some object to the teaching that all things have an empty nature.
Okay, okay, stop here. We try to digest. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, welcome. Okay, class, take a look. Now we go further understand the mere consciousness. Okay, just now Mr. Leong asked, is Nirvana is a self-entity? Okay, yes, Mr. Leong, for the school, for the people with the mere consciousness, it's hardly for them to accept that Nirvana is emptiness. You see or not, once we say that we attain the Nirvana, or we say we attain Buddhahood, it must be something, right? Something solid, peace, eternal. But now the school, you say, oh no, this is also emptiness, you see. So this is why, okay, for those who cannot believe the emptiness, the Nirvana itself is emptiness, they comment them as the one who without 5 deeds. 5 deeds means what? Number 1, they haven't yet accumulated, okay, this is number 1. Plant the good roots of superior grade, number 1, clear various defilements, second, continue the, okay, then not yet accumulate a superior blessing and wisdom, okay, this is the 5, we got 5, let me see, good roots, number 1, of the superior grade, number 2, affliction, number 3, okay, then not yet accumulate the superior provision of the blessing and wisdom. This is the 5 element. For those who is incomplete for this 5 element, they cannot understand that Nibbana itself is the emptiness. They cannot accept. They cannot accept this. You see, okay. So let's see. It's difficult for them to understand because you see, they think that all things being empty and without inherent nature is synonymous with the total non-existent. Yes, okay, maybe I have to do a little bit clarification. Okay, just now, okay, remember that, okay, class, remember, even though in reality we say no such thing as Elena. Okay, remember just now we mentioned, or we agree in reality, no such thing as Elena. But conventionally, there's still Elena, right? Okay, so Elena is still functioning conventionally in the conventional truth. Okay, so this is something is very a proper way of understanding. If let's say after the teaching of the emptiness, if Elena think oh, no such thing of Elena, so meaning to say no need to be punctual during working, right? Because no such thing as Elena. Okay, then your boss will think, oh, no such thing as Elena, so don't need to fully pay you even though you OT because Elena doesn't exist. See, not okay, class. Yeah, okay. If let's say we have this type of perception, this, how do we call it? We call it this. You see, total non-existent. This is a wrong perception already. This is over already. So always remember that it does. I mean, even though a conventional, I mean, it doesn't exist conventionally. I mean, in reality, it doesn't exist, but it's still functioning. I mean, in the conventional truth. So this is, don't make a mistake. So people, if let's say after study the emptiness, they end up become pessimistic, lazy. All this is wrong already. Okay, so always remember, so that's why sometimes a Madhyamaka is like a snake, you know. You play the snake, finally the snake bite you back. Or maybe you play the spell or you run the spell and then the spell kisses you back. So meaning to say that you don't make good use with the Madhyamaka, the emptiness, and instead you harm yourself with the emptiness, become a wrong perception already. Okay, so remember, once we teach people emptiness, always make sure that people wouldn't deny the function in the conventional truth. That will be fine. Okay, then next, let's take a look and see. So they say, for this type of people, they receive no eventual benefit for themselves, and on the contrary, their wisdom regresses. You see, so they heard about what emptiness. Once you attain to the emptiness, meaning it means that we got nothing. They feel scared already. Okay, so for this type of people, we can't proceed with the Madhyamaka. We have to use second way to fit them already. See, okay, so what is the second teaching to fit them? Is all regards this. See, so Elena, your turn to read. In addition, please.
In addition, after listening to the teaching that all things have no inherent nature, those who have not accomplished all of the 5 deeds without belief or understanding say, these were not the Buddha's words. They were spoken by Mara. This is similar to what Nagarjuna relates. The 500 sects of Sravakas heard the teachings that everything is fundamentally empty, as is taught in the Prajna Sutra, felt as if a knife had been thrust in their hearts. For those without capacities who believe but do not understand or misunderstand, or who neither believe nor understand, the Buddha repeatedly taught the Samhini Mochana Sutra, relying on the 3 types of nature that have no inherent nature. With secret intention, I declare that all things that are without inherent nature, actually things that originate dependently are dependent nature, and things that are calm and extinct are ultimately real nature, do inherently exist. It is not that everything is non-existent. Some things are non-existent and others really exist. Only this teaching quells the objection of those who neither believe nor understand. Those who mistakenly believe that everything is non-existent will also no longer understand. Those who believe but do not understand can rely on this to practice as well. According to the sutra, this is the teaching of the whole truth for those who have accomplished all 5 deeds and are able to realize that all things are empty without inherent nature and that everything can be established. However, there are those who with weak ability who have not accomplished the 5 deeds and who are unable to establish all things or who annihilate all things in the light of the teaching that all things are empty without inherent nature. For them, this teaching is so esoteric and abstruse that they need Buddha's explanation. The meaning of Nagarjuna's treatise is also like this. It is analogous to people thinking of the ocean as extremely deep. But since King Rahu Asura can stand in it, with the water only coming up to his navel, how deep can it be? Similarly, people who live in the mountain heard that salt was a taste enhancer, so they put a handful of salt in their mouth. It was intolerable. Ordinary people understand that salt can enhance taste, but in the mind of these ignorant people living in the mountain, this fact is esoteric and abstruse. Therefore, whether something is abstruse or not, esoteric or not, is not dependent on the Dhamma itself, but on the fundamental capacities of the listener. Thus, for those with the ability in Prajna Paramita assembly, the teaching of the Prajna Paramita Sutra and so forth, that all things have no inherent nature, all things exist only in the name of and conventionally, is the whole ultimate truth. But for those who have not accomplished the 5 deeds, is esoteric and abstruse. Then it needs to be explained further to make it simpler, clearer, so that they can believe and understand, thinking that this is the teaching of the whole truth.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, class, for this paragraph, it means what? So simple. Number one, for some people who possess the 5 deeds, they can understand everything. I mean, is emptiness, including, I mean, the Nibbana itself is the emptiness. Okay. Then for certain people, they cannot understand, you see. So the problem is not the Dharma problem, it's the problem of capacity. So we have to speak the simple Dharma. So that's why Buddha will talk about this, Samadhi Varanochana. This one is to make them can easily understand. So this is the whole passage means, okay. Then of course, I mean in this a few paragraph, a few things that is interesting. Number one is regarding this. Let's see. Some they say, this is not Buddha words. They are spoken by Mara because they don't understand. They cannot understand the Prajna Paramita. Can describe that everything is in emptiness. You see. Can you check for me? Number 91 is under what sutra is it? What is the reference for this? On the mic, yeah, Mrs. Leong, you want to speak something, Mrs. Leong?
No, she has nothing to speak. Thank you.
Nothing to speak. Okay, yes, number 91 is from where? Prajna is from the Mara, you see.
SN is Samdhinimochana Sutra.
Okay, this one, Samdhinimochana Sutra, am I correct? Okay,
yes.
Then number 92, you see. Class, take a look. 500 set of Sravaka heard the teaching of the Prajna like a knife thrust in their heart. See or not? 92, what is the reference?
DZ.
Exact.
DZ. Taji turun.
Oh, that's turun. I thought AstraZeneca.
Taji turun na DZ ma.
No, I heard you say exact means AstraZeneca. Everybody panic with the vaccine already. So all things about the vaccine. Okay, that's turun. Okay, that's turun. You see, class, you see, Prajna Sutra, something we know is very good, right? You see, okay, so you see, just now according what the scholastic archaeology study, meaning to say in AD 79, it start prosperous already. I thought it's a good thing, but we talk about the Sravaka, they heard, something like that. They feel the heart have been cut by the knife already, you see, no? So meaning to say that the teaching must be go to the proper people. If the teaching go to the wrong people, good medicine become bad already. So salt is a good enhancer, you know, but the people eat all, so it becomes salty already, you see. Okay, for the ocean, for the King Ashura is very shallow already. King Ashura is very big, you see. But for more normal people, they can die due to the ocean already. So meaning to say the capacity is so important for the whole passage. So if you talk to the wrong person, then all things gone already. Okay, so next okay, let's see. So all finished already. Okay, 179. Let's see. Okay, I think even I don't stop the new one. Maybe we just stop here because also 325 already. So we stop here. Okay. Yes.